Previously on Complex Humanity.
It hasn't been easy, but to walk it faithfully, you have to start on your knees. You have to start on your knees, because without God, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Okay.
It's not just at one stage, my cortisol levels was so high because my body is under so much stress and under so much pressure that your cortisol levels is just so high. I could eat lettuce and I could pick up weight from those lettuce. I've got an amazing husband that's really, really so supportive. I mean, he's loved me through thick and thin. Because there was a stage where I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive my mom because I would blame her. I had to go through a lot of forgiveness and everything, but you still hold on to that victimization. Like that happened to
so
you.
almost like a false identity that's been
that's
built.
why I'm eating, and that's why I have a husband. He loves me the way I am, and I don't have to do anything about it, and I've let go about the past.
Would you tell yourself now, if you could go back to that goal?
Be brave. Be brave and bold. Step forward.
Sure.
Talk about it.
Sure.
Talk about it. I think it could have saved me in a lot of ways in my life, not to be as, desperate for attention.
Yes.
Doing things just to fit in. If I could go back and tell that little girl is to step up, be brave, and be steadfast.
Do you think maybe my weight loss will also start well if I go to Mauritius?
I think so, Danny. That's a good turning point.
That's a turning point. I'm going to Mauritius, guy. Wow, Janine, honestly speaking, that sounds so beautiful. And I love when you speak, I hear grace and accountability. Where I'm not hearing judgment. I'm not hearing, because a lot of times when people don't understand the behind the scenes of people's struggles, they call out the leaves and they don't deal with the roots.
Yeah.
And as you're speaking, I'm hearing the grace, the love, the support was there. But then at the same time, you're saying, look, I had to decide. I'll be accountable and I'm going to take the steps. Where do you start when you've been used to the excuses and not the accountability?
Danny, it's I want to say it's simple, but it's not simple. Get up, dress up, show up.
Sure.
So when I said we were actually flying back from Mauritius, and in that plane, I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't sit like this. I couldn't sit like this. I needed 2 safety belts. I was so uncomfortable by the end of that holiday.
Sure.
And the first thing that you need to do is when you wake up and you make that decision, stick with the decision.
Sure.
I started off with just saying to myself, small portions. Eat whatever you want to eat. Please don't give me something to weigh. I don't want to weigh anything. I don't want to eat
a few
just
crumbs
lettuce.
of lettuce followed with some chicken sauce.
So I just decided to do small portions. Whatever I'm eating in a small plate.
Okay.
That's where I started. And then my total addiction, I just cut it off, and that was milkshake. I could drink milkshake morning, noon, 5 times a day, right through the week. Winter, summer, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I could drink if Drian.
But it's milk.
It's milk. It's good for your teeth. It's good for your bones.
Yeah, it will straighten the bones. I hear you.
If Drian had to order us some takeaway food, I would always say, salted caramel milkshake, please. And the big one, please. And when he ordered again after we came back, like a Steers or whatever, I can't even remember what takeaway he ordered. I said to him, can you just get me a Coke Zero?
Wow.
And he's like, don't you want your milkshake? I'm like, no, don't
Get
start.
thee behind me, Satan.
Because I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him that I'm going to start this
Yes.
journey at first. So
Okay.
for 2 weeks, when we got home, for 2 weeks, I was already eating this, and he was a bit like, what's going on here, you know? But yeah, after that, I got onto the scale, and I'm like, the last 2 weeks I lost 7 kilos. It's like, I was wondering why you're eating so little and everything. So yeah, I started then, and I started out with help medication. I injected just to get the insulin right and everything, and that helped me. But all the hard work comes from you. You can't depend on a medication. You can't depend, because you can't use these things for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Somewhere you're going to have to give it up
Yeah.
and then contain
It's
the
almost
whole-
like pushing, if like a car breaks down
Yeah,
and we start to push it, to jumpstart it, initially it needs that momentum,
yeah,
but once it gets going and you hit
exactly.
And I think that's the beauty of it, where and I'm saying this to someone listening right now, that it's not wrong to get help
No,
and to get medical assistance.
100%.
Let people, like now you spoke about cortisol levels, right? A doctor will see what's happening in your system and they can advise you from there.
No.
So don't feel bad that you need help. Because I've also heard people say, yeah, but I should be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
It's up to me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's I won't mention his name. There was a certain podcaster. Oh man, this guy was very mean, but I love mean. It works for me. I'm
Yeah.
that person. Just give it to me straightforward.
Yeah.
And he always said, he's like, listen, if you've never been your high school weight in your whole adult life, get a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And
True.
I fought that for a long time, and I thought, I'll go and,
Do your thing.
I can do this at the gym by myself. But boy, oh boy, when you get the help, when
Yeah.
you've got, people around you who understand what's happening with your body, it does make it easier.
Absolutely. I was very heavy on my joints and everything. So I had to lose a little bit of weight at first
Okay.
on my own.
Okay. So
But
this is even before you could start exercise.
before I could start exercising, it was too sore for me. It was hectic for me,
Yeah.
even just to go for a walk.
Yeah.
I
Because you're already carrying 200.
Oh.
I mean, I can't bench 200 Ks. So if
Okay.
you're carrying that
can you
the
just,
whole day,
Can you imagine
wow.
like
that's a
carrying
lot.
that type of weight? And I've got actually a very small bone structure.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if I was going for a Guinness Book of Records something, yeah.
Yeah.
But so a year ago when I lost, I think I lost around 30 to 40 kilos. I went to the gym with my husband. He trains at Linwood Bridge Planet Fitness, my
Okay.
husband. So he trained with Stian, but I've known Stian Ras for a very long time. I've
Yeah.
known him for a couple of years ago already. And my husband loved training with Stian, and I was the one yapping here on the side. Do you really need Stian? You can do this on your own. And he's like, just leave me. This is
Comiso.
my thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a year ago, I started going with Drian, and then Stian just started like lightly with me
Yeah.
because he also knows. I mean, he's been a personal trainer for years, and he knows the body. He knows what the body can take and what the body can't take. And he also told me last year that there's a lot of your own body weight that we're going to use for you to lose weight. So at one stage, I just called it quits with Stian as well, because I was like, I'm still,
This person's trying to kill me.
everything is still too heavy for me to do. So I said to Stian, no, you know what? I love you as a person. You're amazing in what you do, but I could still feel like I'm too heavy. So I just started losing more and more and more. And then Stian and I started basically today, 3 weeks ago, on a 12-week challenge. But I think it's obviously going to carry on after the 12 weeks, where he's doing really intensive training with me.
Okay.
And that's where everybody started following my journey on social media.
Wow.
And yeah, Stian, I'm going to be honest with you, Drian, my husband, and Stian, my personal trainer.
Yeah.
I'm into the
You are in
Rians.
the Rians.
So Drian, my husband, actually, he is the biggest supporter in this whole journey.
Yes.
He is just so amazing. He encourages me. He makes sure that I wake up early enough.
Is this your
and
Mauritius husband?
This is the same Mauritius husband.
Mauritius husband.
I think he's more in love with me now.
Wow.
He actually gets jealous when some guy come and talk to me.
Wow. No, I think your husband's onto something, yeah? He should also now try Paris. Let's see. Eh?
I'm working on it,
You're
okay?
working on it. Man, you've got such a
So, yeah, and then
amazing story.
I've
This
got
is-
Stian now as I call Stian my gym husband.
okay.
Because I don't give a lot of attention to my poor husband there. Stian gets more attention.
She's like, huh?
But he is amazing, and he's really changed my way of looking at exercise as well. And the fact that there's somebody that keeps you accountable makes me want to get up in the morning
Yes.
and go to the gym.
yes.
Not just I have the most amazing supporter at home,
Mhm.
but somebody that like, okay, Janine, I'm you. Where are you?
Mhm.
And
That really helps.
100%. And I must be honest, if I had to do this on my own, I won't be able to do it. I need that. I need that drill sergeant standing there and going, but you can do 2 more.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I really, really felt like throwing him with a weight because he started putting extra things into my exercise.
And you're like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, Stian, we didn't discuss this beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really amazing. And like when we just arrived here at the studios, I even told you, you have to go and see Stian.
Yeah.
So I just believe in him. He's really amazing guy. And not just is he there for physical support, emotionally, he's 100% there as well.
Sure.
The other day, I had a massive mental breakdown in the gym. It was my 4th day there, and everything just came pouring down. I just started crying. Everything was too much. My business, my personal life, the exercises, the journey that I'm on, I just cracked. And he left everything, and he came down and he kneeled by me and he said, we're not going to fail this time. And he just encouraged me with his words. And the next minute, I was sweating again. So,
So they cook you nicely. They,
yeah,
you
he's
know,
got
and
a
then
real
get back.
psychological way of working with a person.
I want us to actually talk now about the mental barriers that are there, especially when you've nursed them over the years. I don't know about you, but I've kind of noticed that the brain almost tricks one into thinking
Sure.
this is it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't go
Yeah.
beyond this.
Yeah.
What's been that journey for you mentally?
Yeah. Hard. It was hard.
Sure.
Because I used to tell myself, you don't have to do anything to yourself, Janine. You've got an amazing husband that loves you the way you are. Your children loves you the way you are. You've got amazing friends. Everybody tells you, oh, you're so mooi, you know, and then you think to yourself, but if I'm already pretty, why do I have to do this? So to get into that part of your mind, and you have to start speaking to your mind and not listen to your mind. That's where it all comes
Wait
in.
a minute. That's deep.
Yeah.
To start speaking to your mind and not just to listen
to your mind. Yeah.
Sure.
Because it all comes back to that scripture that says, don't lean on your own understanding. Don't lean on your own understanding, because your body and your mind and everything will do as it's told
Yes.
by your thoughts and your mind and everything.
Yes.
But for you to go against that, you need God.
Sure.
You need favor. Yes. Is it always easy? No. I even got mad at God one time, saying, why did you create my body like this? There's like so many people that can eat 5 pizzas and they still like this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Why do I have to go through this?
Sure.
But I know my story is someone else's hope and light.
Sure.
And I always say to God, use me as your faithful, steadfast servant. And if this is the journey I have to travel to bring hope to those that are so depleted and so lost, I will do it. I will do it for his kingdom.
Wow. Oh, Janine, you're just going into places that are deep. I believe that we think as Christians that our journeys are supposed to be without struggle.
Sure.
You know, God loves me, so it means everything will work out for me. I'll never get it wrong. I'll never go through sexual abuse. I'll never. And just to find that no, you know, just like I can open the Bible and read David's Psalms, where he's in despair and he's speaking about being surrounded by his enemies. It's nice to quote.
100%.
But someone got that
100%.
through a rough journey,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So when I'm hearing you say this, and it's because you've gone through what you went through, someone can listen today and say, oh my goodness, I'm in this point now where I've stopped gymming, you know? Or a parent can say, oh, maybe something's happened to my child. Let me not just focus on the actions.
Yeah.
Or the reaction.
Yeah.
Let me go into
the deeper root.
in the deeper root.
Yeah. That was always my motto, that, or that's the thing that keeps me going and not giving up, is to tell myself, because it's not easy to be in a situation where you have to keep on pushing yourself, and to fight all these battles. I mean, sometimes I also want God just to put my file aside and say, Janine, here's some grace for you. You can relax for the next 2 years.
Die acne
Ja.
vandag. Let me just have.
But the greatest battles for the strongest soldiers. And through all my battles that I fought in life, I could see him everywhere. I could see where he's never left me, where he's never forsaken me. Even though it wasn't nice, even though it was good, or, you know, whatever the situation and the journey I've traveled, I can just see him work his ways through me. when I started my business as well, we were still building the whole salon, and I went one day and just kneeled there, and I said to God, please send the broken ones so that they will be healed, so that they will walk out of my salon and not just feel pretty, but feel the change within.
Sure.
Let this be my ground of where I actually testify my stories to bring hope and to bring healing. So use me and use this platform to minister your name.
Sure.
And that's always who I've been. I would always put others' problems and needs and everything before my own. Always. I think if you speak to people that knows me very well, they would say to you, this is who Janine is. She's a person that always, I will take the back seat and always go to support the person in front of me. There's always more hurt and pain than yours.
Sure.
So my journey is different to someone else's journey. Somebody may have lost their business.
Yeah.
Somebody may have lost their partner in life, their husband, or everybody's journey is different, but it all comes down back to one thing, is how you're going to get through it.
Sure.
How you going to overcome that mountain? How are you going to make it crumble? Are you going to be the one standing on top of the mountain and just shouting and running and, going in different directions and looking for this or that to bring you joy and hope? Or are you going to go back to the center, to the root, to the cause, and start healing from there?
Sure.
So
I connected a few things in the beginning of your story that I probably just want to bring back up. You said your dad passed on when you were about 2 years old.
Yeah, my biological
father. And you also said that the relationship between your parents wasn't necessarily a good one. What was that relationship?
It was a very abusive relationship, physically, mentally, emotionally.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. My mom had it very tough.
Sure.
But she's an amazing woman. She's so strong. She's such a hero for us. She never ever said one bad word about my biological father, ever.
Wow.
Everything that I got to know about my biological father was through my grandmother, his mom, and my aunts and uncles and stuff would tell me what a type of person he was. She never, ever, ever said a bad word about my father.
Man, your mom sounds like my mom.
No.
And I think that's such a rare quality where a parent has the emotional maturity to know that I don't have to burden a child with what was wrong in their parents.
Yeah, because if you ask my mom, like I just asked her one day, how could you stay married to him? And she was like, I always ask God to heal him. She always asked him to heal him. And she think the healing came by him going back home.
Wow.
And I said to her, but don't you regret it? I mean, being with a person like that and you could never live your life. You were always scared. She said, no, because God gave me the greatest gift, and that was my 4 children.
Oh, man.
So she always sees the good the beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think I got that from her.
Wow.
I would always first see the good before I see the negative side. Whenever my husband and I go into a bit of a tiff with each other, I always say to him, when you speak positively. First speak positively and then address the negative. But first come with the positive side. So that's just me. And I think I got that from her.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting now that you also said in the beginning, and the reason I'm bringing this up is a lot of people deal with depression and they can't physically point at what's happened to them. But we go back to the womb, where a child experiences life starting from the womb. And I want even children who are listening to understand that there wasn't a meeting. And I always ask this. When a child is born, you give that child to the mom and the child is comfortable. You give the child to the dad and the child is comfortable. You give the child to a stranger and they start crying. And my question has always been, what meeting did we have to tell this child, this is your mom and this is your dad? That meeting never happens.
Yeah.
But from the womb, you're hearing your parents, you're hearing their voices, you're feeling the touch, you're feeling them around you.
Yeah.
So your relationship with the world already starts from the womb.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, we address the outer things, but we don't go back to the prenatal
Yeah.
to say, how did I come in? What was that message given to me from the time I was conceived? Because you'll find rejection starts from there.
Yeah.
There are children who from the womb, maybe a parent was saying, I don't want a boy. I don't want a girl. And you now come out thinking, I'm not going to be this gender because I want to be what my parents would love.
Yeah.
And you don't know where the idea is coming from.
Yeah.
Or you're born and you thinking, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
But you don't know that from the womb, there was rejection. Oh, someone was saying, I don't want this child. So it's very important.
Yeah.
And when I heard you say you had to address things from the womb, I didn't want anyone listening to miss that aspect.
The
Was
fear
there
and the
anything the Lord?
anxiety
Yes,
that my mom felt, I got in the womb.
sure.
So it's not something that we as children even talk about anymore, because my mom actually got spiritually free from all of this. But when he hit her while she was, pregnant with me, that sound of that hit, I'm not scared. Somebody can scare me, I don't jump or get crazed, but a loud sound makes me jump.
Sure.
So I was very scared of thunder, like terribly scared of thunder. If it starts hitting and that sound comes through, I would look for a place just to hide.
Yeah.
And I could never understand why.
Wow.
And then when I started dealing with everything and what's, from the womb, everything, going through all the phases and working through it and go and see counselors and, it all came back when my father would hit my mom. That sound, I felt it in the womb.
Sure.
And I felt the anxiety and I felt the fear. And I had to work through that. Today, I can stand outside with the thunder hitting and everything, and it doesn't affect me at all.
Wow.
That's how I released from it.
Wow.
So that's why I say it's so important to release from trauma. Trauma can take you down in different aspects of your life.
Sure.
You don't think that by putting things under a rug, just make things worse. Rather deal with it. Get it out. Get it in the open. Start praying about it. Release from it. Let that spirits that attach itself to you, let them loose. Yeah.
Wow.
Cut them from you, because it only pulls you down. I had depression very badly. My stepfather passed away 2 years ago, also very tragically. It was the worst thing for me to go through that again, because it triggered everything again. I actually started eating worse after his death.
Wow.
Yeah, as if I've never seen food. I would just eat and back away because I just wanted to hide the hurt. Doesn't help. You have to go back to the core of your things. Now I can sit in front of a buffet and not even hunger for anything that's there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, Janine, I think this part one, I'll have to call this part one of our conversation. Because we've not even gone into who you are as a businesswoman and just the things you've done. And I really want us to have a second convo where we go into that. But today I want to thank you for your vulnerability. for really letting us in to your life struggles, the journey of your rebuilding,
Yeah.
because you're rebuilding, girl.
No, listen, you have to align everything mind, body, soul, spirit, everything needs to be in alignment. Otherwise, you can't say you healed.
Man. So I'm grateful for participating in this journey. And I want to maybe in closing ask you just to talk to someone who might be listening, who maybe is afraid to start that journey. They know they need to do it, but there's that fear and all that anxiety. Go on and talk to them. Tell them something.
So all you beautiful people, and I say beautiful for a reason, because with my work that I do, I stand in the mirror every single day. And the person in the mirror is the one that you need to love. That's the one you need to call out to. That's the one you need to speak to every single day. So in my business, I have to tell people how beautiful they look, and I need to also add on to their beauty. But beauty can't start if it doesn't start within. So every morning when my girls leave the house,
Sure.
I always tell them, you're brave, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're courageous, and you are a conqueror in Christ. And you must remember that, because that's the things that help me through life. And that's the things I can teach my girls. And that's the thing I want you today to do. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, you're brave, you're beautiful, you're courageous, and you're a conqueror in Christ. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Janine Coetzee on Complex Humanity. We invite you for our conversation again. She will be back on the show. And man, oh man, that second part is just going to be the fun stuff.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you so much, Janine. Until next time, bye-bye.
Please subscribe now